Like clockwork, when I want to record a video, it's either one, no, it's not even one or two things. Both things happen. I get interrupted, and then I have to, and then the iPad's like out of storage, even though it's so inconsistent too. I understand I have a lot of Kindle books downloaded that I haven't read yet, so I haven't like gotten rid of them. Even then, when I read them, I like some of them. I like them so much that I want to read them again very soon. So I keep them up there. But it's just so annoying. I don't know why it says, "Oh, no storage," even though I've been able to record hour-long videos just fine. And yeah, I don't even have every book on my Kindle is not downloaded. So and I actually don't think I've downloaded a book on the Kindle for a while. I usually just keep them up there, and then when I want to read them, I'll download them. But for the most part, because of how little I use the Kindle also, and when I do, it's... Anyways, that's just the way the iPad is. I have it's like, I know I have a lot of Kindle books downloaded, even then, like, I don't think it's... It should not be as much as it is, I don't think. But anyways, let's get on with it. This is the books I will be reading for the next 3 weeks. Now, some of these I've had before, and I've been reading some of these, like most of them I've read at least one issue of, but I got some new books today, and I wanted to show them all off at once, and I have all of them here to show physically. And why does that happen? Well, because I got my new job a few months ago. I hate to say it, but you guys should know about this by now. Like, it should not be news to you unless you haven't watched one of my videos in a year, or like since July. And even then, I didn't get mentioned it because it was one of those jobs. I went into the interview and they pretty much knew I had a job when I went to the interview. It went so well. But anyways, it's right down the street from the library where I work. So when I put books in and it's showing that they're in, and I'm out of, because I get out like when the kids get out because I work at a school. When I get out and sometimes the books are in, I'll pick them up, and then when the majority of the books come in. And there's like one or two left over. I'll be like, okay, so Flower and Fade. That was one of the books that didn't come in yet. This and the next book are OGNs, by the way. That's how I like to order them. It goes OGNs, which is original graphic novels. I read them all in one sitting. Then it's rereads, and then it's ones I'm reading for the first time. Anyways, but, you know, I'll be like, okay, Flower and Fade. That one didn't come in yet. So I'm going to say what the book is, who wrote it, and whatever information I want to share about it. Now, one thing I did not know until I got my copy is that this is actually signed. The writer signed it at the library he was visiting that lent this to my library. Very cool. Only 2 of these books this time are ones in my personal collection. Technically 3, but one of them is just like 2 volumes in the same series. I have to read 2 volumes at a time to get it finished by December. Because you'll see why. When I show it off, you'll see why I want to have the entire series finished for December. Anyways, the next one, so I'm kind of in rushing mode because I want to get this out because I've been doing this like an hour. If you add in the interruptions, or you wouldn't add in interruptions, you have to eat dinner. If you add all that shit in, it's probably been like 2 hours. But I would say in total it's like an hour and a half, like an hour worth of recording. It gets very annoying. Like, I like doing this, and it's why I'm not going to give up and do it tomorrow or anything like that, or like skip up completely and just go with the cut I already have uploaded, and then saved for it. It's a scheduled video, so you haven't gotten it yet, thankfully. You won't get it until like the 28th, I think it was. Yeah, 28th of this month. The reason why that is because, again, because I have a job, less time to do videos, so I want to make sure that I have at least one video published per week. Thus, the reason for why I'll upload a video on like October 1st, and you won't get it till October 14th. Because I'm scheduling videos weeks in advance, because there's no reason not to now, and that way I can have consistent weekly uploads. The only time I won't do that is with comic hauls. I will always do that either the last day of the month that all the books haven't come in, but I still want to show what's come in so far. And then when everything has come in for that month, I upload the last part and then the complete monthly haul for that video. A good example is September's. I uploaded that. It was 2 straight days of videos, last of the books, and then the next day was complete September haul. Here we go. But next book up is Somna by Becky Cloonan. This is distillery. Now, technically, this is released within 3 issues, but I am like I swear to God, hand on a stack of Bibles that they were only available through the Distillery app and through distilleries subscription service. You could not read that anywhere else until now when the hardcover has come out. Now this one in Eisner, so my hopes are pretty high up, and I also like Becky Cloonan as a writer, so... But they're also a bit down because Digital Re hasn't gotten the best rap, but it's been from people who don't like writers anyways, so they're not going to give them a chance anyways, you know. They're fair critics, but they don't like the writers I like, so it's kind of like, yeah, obviously you're not going to like their books. Nothing is going to sway you to read their books if it's a writer you don't like. Good example is of Tim Seeley. Tim Seeley does a Digital Re book. I will be the furthest away it could possibly be from that book. Figuratively, of course. Maybe even literally. I mean, I was super stutter. Where's the other copy of this book? Here. I've told this story so many times that even new viewers who have only been here for a week probably somehow already know this without watching the video. That's how many times I've told the story because of how many times I have checked out Flawed. So next, the first 11, including Flawed, are all rereads. Technically, it's 12, but the 12th one, I've only read half of the book. You'll see why that is in a second here. When we get to it, of course. But anyways, the story behind Flawed. Now, why do I have 2 copies of it, and why does one that comes from the library and one doesn't? Well, I had gotten my copy of Flawed back in September. But because I was second guessing whether or not I wanted to get this book because of all other books I want to get probably, I don't remember the exact reason, I had said, you know what, it's the only Chuck Brown book that I want that the library does not have. So let's let the library, so I'm going to do what's called a materials request, where I put in a book for my local library to get, the one that's right down the street from my work. Not Angel Alone, no, the library that's right across the street where I pick up books from. Let's have that library get it. Because they did this new thing called materials request, if no other library has it, and it's a book that's popular enough, and it's a new release of that year, they'll get it for you. No questions asked after that point. And they did, and I realized it too late, and I was like, oh shit, that's right, I put it in. So every time I want to read this incredible series, I can already say that because it's a reread, I will always check out my library's copy so long as they have it. If they don't, then I'll pick up my copy and read that. But I'll probably just wait until my library has it because of how many books I want to check out anyways. Like the next time I had to sacrifice, in order to get all the books I want to get next time and still fall under my 11, because it's 22 books of these per week, like these like non-OGNs, it's at least 22. Sometimes it's in total. Sometimes I put in books from my personal collection, but next time I can't do that because of how many books I'm checking out. I'm going to sacrifice books. So at a time like that, yeah, probably I'd wait. But for the most part, how much I love this series, I always want to check it out again and again. And honestly, that was just because one of the books I wanted hadn't come in yet, and I was filling the gap. No, one of them, no, it was untrue. It was also because one of them, I didn't get the right book. It was the hardcover, and I wanted a soft cover because it was one of those books that it's like deluxe hardcover, and 2 soft covers went into the hardcover. So volume 2, the hardcover, I'm not on. I'm on still like volume 1, actually it's volume 3, and I'm still on volume 2 hardcover. Second half of it, but still, actually it was the first half, so even better. Captain Marvel by Kelly DeConnick. So I'm going to do these back to back because there's no reason not to. So this is Secret Avengers and this is Captain Marvel. Both are rereads and both are series whose authors are the prime example of separating the art from the artist. They have both said some stupid shit on Twitter and on social media in general. However, their storytelling is their writing is really damn good. Their writing is solid, so I can separate the art from the artist and how solid their writing is. And both series, I think, get to Captain Marvel more than Secret Avengers, but I think this run of Captain Marvel gets a bit too much hate. Do I understand why people hate it? Sure. But I don't think the overall issue of Captain Marvel's character comes into play until much later. Nowadays, yes, I can understand people hate the character, and I'm very skeptical to get into any recent Captain Marvel book. However, I just think this run is pretty damn good. Same with Secret Adventures. And honestly, Secret Adventures is more just underrated. Like, no one knows about the series existence. And when they do, they talk about the runs that came before. And you can pick this book up, like, this run of Secret Avengers without reading the previous. I did that my first time around. I wasn't confused, and neither should you be. Maybe if you want to know like every single thing, but like what Secret Avengers actually is. But I think they reintroduced what exactly Secret Avengers is. So there you go. Then we have it to Star Wars books. Again, I cannot pick which one I like more. These are perfect Star Wars books, perfect action, like just perfect pacing, perfect everything, and it's perfect for any Star Wars fan too. This is if I had to pick gun to my head and to choose, I'd probably say Jason Aaron's Star Wars run because Kieran Gillen's run is a bit too fast paced. Like I feel like he's just not rushing necessarily, but he's just like all this cool shit, and then it's a bit too fast paced, but it's still groundbreaking. They're still both like 9s out of 10, maybe like 9.5 out of 10, like for both these series. And then again, every 6-month rule. Then we get to what my second criteria of it is for rereads, and that is the giving the book a second chance. This is Jim Zub and Ray Fox's Murder World, and Jim Zub wrote one of my favorite comics of all time, definitely in the top 10, Wayward. That series is so damn good, I did not mind pitching in and getting the hardcovers, even though the library had all the softcovers, or I could have gotten the softcovers for a much cheaper price. No, I was going to get the best possible format for Wayward. And also came with posters, so that's a bonus too. Those posters are still up there, by the way. Can we show that? There we go, there's one of them. Can't see it though too well. But that was one of them. I'll do it when you saw my room tour. That was still pretty. But that was in my room tour. You saw the poster. But great posters, great series, great everything. So when I checked out Murder World, I had a bit too high expectations for the series, and that's why I'm checking out for a second time, because I feel like that was the reason why I didn't like it, was because my hopes were too high up, and now having a realistic take, having not such high hopes and them being realistically lowered, I'm sure I will like this series a lot more. Spoilers, because I've read a good amount of the series, so far I do. That's the only spoiler I'm going to get. Now, one thing I can spoil is my thoughts on Gotham Academy as a series, because I've already reviewed Volume 1. I forgot that this was actually a giving it a second chance when I finished Volume 1 and I was reviewing it. I had to remind myself that, no, this wasn't every 6-month rule book. This was you hated it, and now you're giving a second chance if you actually like it. Because a complete turnaround. And it wasn't long ago I read Gotham Academy either for the second time. The first time around reading the entire series, the second time around in general. But yes, complete turnaround for Gotham Academy. Which is crazy because it's written by Brendan Fletcher, who I hate his background with a passion. Preacher by Garth Ennis. Every 6-month rule. My favorite comic of all time. Enough said. Astro City. If Preacher is my favorite comic of all time, this is my least favorite of all time. And that is extremely controversial to say. I know. Like, I can already feel the pitchforks being stabbed into my back right now, because of how much people love and salivate and come over Astro City. It's not that fucking good. It is... I like a lot more. So far, I like a lot more, but it is very overwritten. It's Kurt Busiek. I'm not the biggest fan of Kurt Busiek's writing, except for Marvels, and I honestly think it's about it. So maybe and Autumn Lands kind of. So maybe Kurt Busiek isn't really for me. Now, I did just say, I have at least this whole pile is I got from the authors. I got at least one book from them from Image Comics. That is, I got. The only ones I have from him thus far are Aerosmith and Autumn Lands, and it's only because I liked the Autumn Lands more the second time than I did the first time. I wanted to own it myself. Screw it. And I want to get Aerosmith too. But I have no desire to get more than that from Kurt Busiek for Image Comics. I'm a completist for every other author besides Kurt Busiek. But yes, Astro City. Now, of course, I understand people like it. I was over-exaggerating a bit there, but I don't. Kurt Busiek in general, obviously I understand people like his writing, but it's not for me. His writing style is just not for me. Which is really weird, because I like other books with that same kind of like feel for it. I like those, so why Kurt Busiek? I honestly don't know, if I'm being perfectly honest. Batgirl by Gail Simone. Every 6-month rule, I will die on this hill. And this is terrible to say right to the side, because I hate Astro City, but I will die on this hill that people would actually like this run had they ignored Oracle completely. Had they said, nope, she was never Oracle. She didn't get her spine realigned. She didn't get her spine fixed. She was never Oracle, and that Joker thing never happened. People would not hate this run as much as they did. But then they would hate it. They take that away from her. But this is New 52 rebooted Batgirl. Once you get that into your head and you ignore all of the Oracle, ignore all of that, it's a damn good run. And then Brendan Fletcher's run comes and ruins everything. Because Gail Simone got canceled on Twitter, which sounds insane nowadays for me to say that. I actually remind myself what actually happened. She got canceled on Twitter because in the Batgirl run, spoilers, like a mild spoilers, but one of the characters comes out as trans. Not Batgirl, her roommate comes out as trans. And people were pissed that in the book itself, Batgirl did not know that she was trans, and that Gail Simone should have written the character better, and it was a stupid bullshit thing, and she got kicked out of Batgirl. Because of that reason. And then Brendan Fletcher came around and did DC Superhero Girls, the comic, for Batgirl. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. When you see the DC Superhero Girls cartoon, just 2 minutes of that is all you gotta see, and it's basically what the Batgirl run is, post New 52, pre-rebirth, otherwise known as Convergence of Brendan Fletcher's run on Batgirl. Batman and Robin by Grant Morrison. I was going to go all the way back to the beginning and read his run from start to finish, but because of how much I loved Batman and Robin, I could not force myself to do that. I was like, nope, we're just going to read this, screw it. And then after that, after a little while has passed, then we'll go back to the beginning, and then by the time we get to that, we'll want to read it again. Anyways, there you go. Now on to the one that's technically a reread, but only read half. So this is the Batman by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo Deluxe Edition, which collects Broken City, Night of Vengeance, Wednesday Comics, material from that, and material from a Gotham Knights issue. Now, Gotham Knights was an 8-page black and white backup, and Broken City I read before. Broken City being a 6-issue miniseries. But I wanted to read this all the way through. I wanted to read everything that was in this book. Finally got it, too, because the longest time, because I saw the black and white thing, I thought the entire series was in black and white, and then that was what they call it, deluxe edition. But no, it's in color, and I should have known that. I should have bought it when it was $5.99 at my local comic shop. But I didn't. I think it was more $11.99, but it was cheap. It was one of those prices. Yeah, I'm getting that book. But I found out the reason why, because they had it under a shrink wrap. I couldn't break open the shrink wrap and open the book myself, because that comic store was hell no. And I don't care how loyal a customer you are to us, you're not doing that. And I understood. I completely understood why they did that. Now on to the ones that are not rereads, and I'm reading them all the way through for the first time. Volumes 4 and 5 of Black Science. Why am I reading 2 volumes of these at one time? Because I want to finish the series for December, so I can do my every Image book I've read in 2023 that I own or I own. I haven't read anything that I own already because of how much I like Image comics. This is work, and I have the best track record with Image books. I've not read one I've absolutely hated other than Mother of Madness, and even now it's just boring. But anyways, I'll be reviewing every book I have read from Image in 2023, and it's a lot. So look up for that one. Come probably December 31st. That'll probably be my New Year's Eve special. So there you go. Just in general, my New Year special. You've Been Cancelled. This is written by Kurt Pyers, and he's one of those writers I just don't know a whole lot about. So I always want to check out whatever my library has of his. Just when they can have it. And You've Been Cancelled caught my eye too. And it was one of those books I was glad to get because it was. Sometimes if because they have 2 systems, if they don't have one on one system, sometimes they get lucky, and the only reason they don't have that is because on the new system, and they took out those books in their old system. So it's the old system ain't gonna pick it up. But sometimes, 9 times out of 10, it's just because the system lied to you and said, "Oh no, the library's gonna have it. Why else wouldn't it be here?" Didn't have it. Screw you. No. It's the system saying that. It's the system saying that. And the learning library or librarian, obviously, is the system itself, the computer, the AI. Josie and the Pussycats. This is volume 2. So this series, I actually have read. I actually have watched the movie, the 2001 movie. I absolutely loved it. I still have Three Small Words stuck in my head. That song from the movie still stuck in my head. Damn good song, damn good movie. I don't review movies on here anymore, and I probably won't be reviewing them in general, even on my second channel. But I will say really quickly that was a really damn great movie, and anyone should watch it. Moving on, that those kinds of movies. If you like Mean Girls, you'll love that movie too. I Walk with Monsters. This is by Paul Cornell. Don't know too much about him, so I want to check out what else he had. And again, like, I got his stuff from Image this month, so I wanted to check out this one. And this was the one that caught my eye the most. And I was like, ooh, I wonder if any library has it. And they did. And they had it. It's in my hand. This is one of the newer books I got, and this is Buckhead. Now, this is written by an author that has only written one other book in general. And that is, of course, their Image work. And that's Shobo. They don't give a full name here. They do it on the Image Comics website, so I don't remember what it was. But it's from Boombox, and the artwork does not exactly scream like New Masters is the exact opposite of this book in every way, shape, or form, just based off of the artwork itself. Like I can already tell it that's gonna be the case. But hopefully this will be more Giant Days than Lumberjanes as far as Boombox books go. And at the very least, hopefully it reminds me of the first few volumes of Lumberjanes before the creative team changed, and you could tell as each volume came out that it's a different creative team. And became more and more apparent. I don't hate Lumberjanes, just I'm kind of sick and tired of it, and I was like, okay, I need to get these books instead. Let's sacrifice Lumberjanes, and I haven't looked back since. But Buckhead, not Fuckhead, Buckhead with a B, not an F. Boombox is their like younger audience books. Giant Days is like borderline, like that has a lot of sex humor in it, and it's probably like the most young adult book that out there. Like definitely for at least 13 and up. X-23 Deadly Regenesis with the first Erica Schultz book I ever review on this book. X-23 Deadly Regenesis will be the first Erica Schultz book I review and the first Erica Schultz book I read. Now, same with Shobo, obviously him slash her slash they only having written, I don't know anything about them, only having written 2 books and the other one I haven't read yet. So that's the same thing here. But Erica Schultz is like a new and upcoming writer, so it's kind of surprising I haven't read anything by her yet. Maybe I have, I just don't remember, but there you go. And this also is X-23. Like this, and also takes place around my favorite era of X-23 too, the early days. So I have my hopes pretty high up. Star Wars: Galaxy's Edge. This I thought was a sequel to his other Star Wars book, and so far I don't think it is. I remember hearing somewhere it was. I think it is, but this is a good example of the pre-Rise of Skywalker Star Wars books. I believe, at least. I don't know. Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Spoilers, it is 10 times better than the movies thus far. And this is Christopher Yost. So obviously, like Christopher Yost, like, I think can make anything good. He's a damn good writer. He wrote all the best issues of X-23 back in the day. And also created the character too. Deathbed by Joshua Williamson. A book that I kept seeing but kept putting off, and now we're gonna break that rule. We're gonna break that once and for all, and finally check this book out. Harley Quinn by Stephanie Phillips. The biggest surprise. Not whether or not I liked it, but my library actually had it. I swear to God, they never did, and I just for that reason I did. And I was like, oh, not only do they have at least the first 3 volumes of this series, but volume 1, awesome, and I can get it. It's not like one of those liar books. They said, nope, don't have it. Ha, screw you. We never did. Why do you think we did? You stupid. Batman Private Case book by Paul Dini. Just a random Batman book I picked up. Never heard it before. Paul Dini. Should be good, right? I won't tell. Then last but not least, Night Terrors by Joshua Williamson. A series I heard a lot about, not too great about, but I still want to check it out. Library has it, it's free. Why not? Joshua Williamson. So far, I think it's more than Deathbed. Spoilers. None of these I finished before, by the way. None of these I finished all the way through this time around, by the way. So, I can't technically review any of these. That was it, right? One. Yeah, it should be it. Why wouldn't it be it? I just like it was more hardcovers, but there was a way I ordered the books because I wanted to do rereads first, and then non-rereads, and that, you know. So again, the 3 criteria. The first one is like it so much, want to read again. Second criteria is reread to redeem, because I want to redeem a book and I want to read it again because I'm sure I'll like it. It's a feeling I have, and sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I really like this book I reread, and I absolutely hate it the first time. Maybe it'll happen again. Doesn't always happen. Good example is like everything I've read by Tim Seeley, but sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes I actually, at the very least, I end up liking it a bit more. I don't absolutely hate it. I just think it's average. That's at the very least. At the very least, that's what's happened before with those kinds of books. Of course, sometimes I feel the same way, but most of the time, that's at the very least what happens. The third criteria is, hey, they have all 10 volumes of this series, and I want to read and want to finish the series once and for all. Now I can do it, but the first 6 volumes are rereads. That doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does, and then there you go. Or I just found out they had the entire series. I just had to put it under like this. Because again, sometimes their main interlibrary loan system, it'll say they don't have a book, but you'll put it in again, and you'll be like, oh yeah, they had it this whole time. I don't know why we say it didn't. No, actually, never said we did. Why lying to me? That's their system. That is exactly what the system says to me sometimes. I feel like what they're saying to me, they can actually talk to me. Their older interlibrary loan system is a pain in the ass. Their newest one is awesome. I've only had like 2 minor issues with their new system, and it's usually the library itself not having the book anymore because they lost it. But anyways, that is it. That, as I say, is that whole big stack of books that I just showed you guys, and that should be it for until later on. Now, I will do a little bonus, a little post-credit scene, because might as well show it off. But this one I was supposed to get last time, and I didn't because of how popular this book is, and that is Berserk Deluxe Edition. Now, I don't know if I'll finish this behemoth by the time I finish all the other books, but I did want to show it off. Now, this is what's breaking all the rules, because I was supposed to get it last time. Last time it was like the whatever. Doesn't matter if it's book by the domain. Well, no, miscellaneous. Like, it's just a book I want to read, and I don't care if it's, it doesn't know the oh, I want to get this book because it's this author from Image. No, it's just a book I want to read. That's why I was finally able to. That's why I was able to finally review DC's on here. But that, as I say, is that. 28 minutes long. I've got to get on my books.